In this podcast episode, Dr. Andrew Huberman joins to discuss a broad range of topics centered on brain health, hormonal regulation, resilience, sleep, habits, and the interplay between physiology and mindset in reclaiming cognitive and physical function. The conversation provides deep insights into cortisol's role beyond its stigma as a mere stress hormone, burnout, the neuroscience of attention and habit formation, lymphatic clearance during sleep, and the complex journey of health recovery. Alongside personal reflections and practical strategies, Dr. Huberman also touches on broader cultural themes such as media dynamics, social media influences, and the evolving science of human performance. Dr. Huberman begins by challenging the common misconception of cortisol as purely detrimental. While cortisol spikes during stress, its fundamental role is to mobilize energy to help the brain and body respond effectively. Healthy circadian rhythms feature a pronounced morning cortisol spike, known as the cortisol awakening response, which is vital for optimal alertness and energy distribution throughout the day. This spike is tightly regulated by the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal (HPA) axis and a circadian pathway distinct from stress-triggered responses. Exposure to bright light in the first hour after awakening can amplify this cortisol surge, further enhancing wakefulness and cognitive function. Conversely, insufficient morning cortisol spikes can prime the body for exaggerated stress responses later in the day, disrupting sleep and contributing to anxiety. Dr. Huberman dispels myths about cortisol-generating activities such as cold plunges or caffeine intake, explaining that, contrary to popular belief, cold exposure actually reduces cortisol while increasing adrenaline and norepinephrine. The Nuances curve, high in the morning, declining through the day, and lowest during deep sleep, is critical for longevity, recovery, and mental health. Importantly, disorders like Cushing's syndrome often invert this curve, with low morning and high evening cortisol, correlating with cognitive deficits and poor health outcomes. Burnout is portrayed as a dysregulation of the cortisol rhythm rather than mere chronic exhaustion. Dr. Huberman differentiates two primary burnout patterns: morning exhaustion leading to caffeine dependence and evening wiredness, and a persistent all-day elevated cortisol state leading to eventual collapse. Recovery is tied to respecting natural circadian patterns, treating the first 3 to 6 hours after awakening as active time saturated with bright light, hydration, and mild stressors like exercise, while the last few hours before bed focus on quiet, dim light, hydration limitation, slow breathing, and melatonin support. This approach aids in reestablishing robust morning cortisol surges and lowering evening levels, which are crucial in breaking the burnout cycle. He highlights the importance of light management, including the use of red lens glasses and keeping nighttime light exposure extremely low to foster proper overnight glucose metabolism and melatonin production. Dr. Huberman emphasizes the complexity of sleep problems, especially for hard chargers with racing minds. He discusses the impact of diet, especially carbohydrate intake, on sleep quality, noting that low-starch diets can impair deep sleep and exacerbate nighttime alertness. Inclusion of modest amounts of starchy foods, such as oatmeal or rice in the evening meal, can facilitate better sleep for some individuals. He also touches on supplementation, endorsing magnesium, bisglycinate, or threonate forms for sleep, cognition, and protection against hearing loss, and expresses caution on reliance on melatonin supplements due to potential hormonal disruptions. Practical strategies for calming a racing mind at night include specific eye movement patterns to deactivate proprioceptive awareness, described as lateral and circular eye motions combined with exhalation, which can enhance parasympathetic nervous system activation and facilitate the onset of sleep. Mind walks, a technique of mentally rehearsing familiar, detailed environments, serve as a cognitive distraction that promotes sleep by engaging the brain in controlled sensory imagery. Resonance breathing techniques, leveraging heart rate variability, HRV, biofeedback, are highlighted as powerful tools to induce parasympathetic dominance. Dr. Huberman discusses innovative HRV devices like a high-fidelity, tactile-guided stone embedded in a bedside lamp, facilitating accessible and private breathwork. The conversation delves into the glymphatic system, an essential brain waste clearance pathway active predominantly during deep, non-REM sleep. The system flushes metabolic byproducts accumulated during waking hours from the brain and spinal cord. Sleep position impacts this clearance. Side sleeping with slight head tilt optimizes glymphatic flow, while back sleeping might be less efficient. Elevating the head slightly, as seen in some adjustable mattresses or chairs, assists with lymphatic drainage and reduces risks like sleep apnea. Dr. Huberman also notes the significance of gentle lymphatic massage and physical movement, rebounding, skipping rope, to enhance overall lymphatic flow, facilitating reduced brain fog, diminished swollen eyes, and improved mental clarity. The episode moves into the realm of cognition and habit, guided by emerging neuroscience. Dr. Huberman explains that thoughts form through layered sensory memories, where an initial idea, a seed, accrues associated sensory details, shaping the content of thinking and reflective awareness. Attention narrows focus among a flood of sensory input, which modern technology often overwhelms, impairing sustained focus and neuroplasticity. He advocates for boring breaks and silence before cognitive work to reduce sensory noise, thereby enhancing concentration and encoding of learning through reflection. Practices like self-testing rather than passive rereading optimize memory retention. On habits, breaking negative patterns largely requires robust top-down control from the prefrontal cortex, which inhibits impulsive, reward-driven hypothalamic circuits governing urges and desires. Dr. Huberman observes that internal strength can be amplified by handing over control to an external source, such as a concept of higher power or spirituality, a phenomenon observed in addiction recovery programs with notable success, enabling sustained self-control by reducing internal struggle. He reflects personally on embracing prayer and faith, which have brought him sustained peace and resilience, highlighting the interplay between neuroscience, spirituality, and human psychology. Throughout the dialogue, Dr. Huberman and the host touch on how pioneering ideas or individuals often face rejection or misunderstanding until broader acceptance emerges. The so-called Cassandra complex, named for the mythological figure cursed to be disbelieved despite accurate prophecies. This dynamic extends into scientific discoveries like the glymphatic system or evolution theory and medical advances, underscoring the social and institutional barriers to truth. The discussion serves as a subtle reminder that knowledge often precedes societal readiness, requiring perseverance and openness. They examine the deterioration of traditional media's authority, highlighting the fierce competition podcasting and independent creators have introduced. Traditional media often politicizes topics such as protein consumption to generate controversy or clicks, reflecting a broader struggle for relevance and revenue. This underscores social media's vast yet volatile cognitive environment, where drama and distraction dominate, often without substantive learning. The importance of selective consumption, choosing content that enriches rather than numbs, and critical reflection post-consumption is emphasized as essential habits for mental clarity. Dr. Huberman candidly shares his personal health struggles with Lyme disease, mold toxicity, autoimmune flares, cognitive decline, and emotional challenges. He recounts periods of extreme fatigue, brain fog, and disorientation, such as momentarily forgetting how to tie his shoes, highlighting the profound impact severe chronic illness can have on function and identity. His experience navigating complex diagnostics, layered infections, and multifaceted treatments underscores the complexity of chronic illness management and the challenges of disentangling overlapping symptoms and interventions. His efforts include a vast spectrum of medical and integrative approaches, cautious use of antibiotics, detox protocols, moderation of physical training, and dedicated rest, emphasizing patience and gentleness in recovery. The dialogue stresses the importance of expert collaboration, understanding underlying principles, and maintaining hope despite setbacks. Dr. Huberman expresses gratitude for supportive friendships and professional networks that bolster his journey. The discussion briefly explores mitochondrial inheritance, transmitted exclusively through the maternal line, and its pivotal role in cellular energy production and overall vitality. Dr. Huberman highlights recent advances in fertility treatments, including 3-parent IVF techniques designed to prevent transmission of mitochondrial disease by combining nuclear DNA from intended parents with donated mitochondrial DNA from a healthy source. He reflects on the fascinating neuroscientific discovery that certain brain regions preferentially express genes inherited from either mom or dad, contributing to individual differences in physiology and behavior, including hypothalamic control of appetite and fat function. Dr. Huberman identifies magnesium as the emerging nutritional frontier, poised for increased recognition due to its central roles in cognitive function, sleep quality, and protection against hearing loss. He contrasts different magnesium forms in terms of bioavailability and neurological efficacy. He also underscores the limited role of melatonin supplements, advocating for careful dosing given their hormonal effects. The role of fiber and gut health is raised with nuance. Dr. Huberman acknowledges the individual variability in fiber tolerance and the gut inflammatory response, highlighting recent studies that emphasize the anti-inflammatory benefits of low-sugar fermented foods, such as sauerkraut, kefir, and Bulgarian yogurt, over generalized fiber supplementation. He cautions against one-size-fits-all approaches, promoting personalized assessment. Throughout the episode, Dr. Huberman promotes a balanced integration of rigorous scientific understanding with faith, mindfulness, and practical strategies to optimize human performance and well-being. He reflects warmly on the importance of community, friendship, and personal reflection in sustaining mental and physical health amid the challenges of modern life. The conversation blends high-level neuroscience with relatable human experience, making complex biology accessible while honoring the mystery and spiritual dimensions of human resilience.